Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Pramanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Budhiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naistikim. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of concourse, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance on Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendent song is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, Text 14, chapter entitled Rahugana Converse with Jadat Bharat. Aham pura bharato nama raja. Aham pura bharato nama raja. Vimukta drista sruta sangha bandha. Vimukta drista sruta sangha bandha. Aradhanam bhagavata iyahamano. Aradhanam bhagavata ihamano. Mirgo bhavam mriga sanga datartam. Mrigo bhavam mriga sanga datartam. Aham pura bharato nama rajam. Aham pura bharato nama rajam. Vimukta drista surata sanga bandham. Aradhanam bhagavata ehamano. Mirgo bhavam mirga sanga dathardam. Aham pura bharato nama rajam. Vimukta drista surata sanga bandham. Aradhanam bhagavata ehamano. Mirgo bhavam mirga sanga dathardam. Mothers? Aham, I, Pura, formerly, in my previous birth, Bharatanama Raja, a king named Maharaj Bharat, Vimukta, liberated from Drishtasruta, by experiencing personally through direct association or by getting knowledge from the Vedas.
By experiencing personally the direct association or by getting knowledge from the Vedas.
Sangabandha, bondage by association. Aradhanam, the worship. Bhagavata, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva, Vasudev, Ihamana, always performing. Mirga Bhavam, I became a deer, Mirga Sangat, because of my intimate association with the deer. Ataharda, having neglected the regulative principles in the discharge of devotional service. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: in a previous birth, I was known as Maharaj Bharat. I attained perfection by becoming completely detached from material activities through direct experience, and through indirect experience I received understanding from the Vedas. I was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, but due to my misfortune, I became very affectionate to a small deer, so much so that I neglected my spiritual duties. Due to my deep affection for the deer, in my next life I had to accept the body of a deer. Purport: the incident herein described is very significant. In a previous verse it is stated, Vina Mahat Pada Rajo Bisekam, one cannot attain perfection without smearing the dust from the lotus feet of an exalted devotee on his head. If one always follows the orders of the spiritual master, there is no question of falling down. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and becomes ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. If the spiritual master is considered an ordinary person, the disciple surely loses his chance to advance further. Despite a very rigid life in devotional service, Bharat Maharaj did not consult the spiritual master when he became very attached to a deer. Consequently, he became strongly attached to the deer, and forgetting his spiritual routine, he fell down. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnanananjano Salakaya Chakso Namlitam Yeno Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vidantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Sham. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dena Bando Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadharo Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Aham Pura Bharato Nama Raja Vimukta Drista Surata Sangabhanda Aradhanam Bhagavata Ihamano Mirgo Bhavam Mirga Sangat Dathardham. In a previous birth, I was known as Maharaj Bharat. I attained perfection by becoming completely detached from material activities through direct and through indirect experience. I received understanding from the Vedas. I was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, but due to my misfortune, I became very affectionate to a small deer, so much so that I neglected my spiritual duties. Due to my deep affection for the deer, in my next life I had to accept the body of a deer. So here, we are continuing on the subject matter of Bharat Maharaj. It is very unfortunate, being a great devotee of the Lord, Bharat Maharaj has to undergo a great difficulty in the life of a deer. And at the same time, the Lord is bringing this beautiful story for the benefit of the devotees, how they should be very careful in the path of Krishna consciousness. And by properly following the principles given in the path of Krishna consciousness, surely we will attain the great mercy of the Vaishnavas. We can attain the great mercy of the spiritual master, and ultimately we will attain the great mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, studying the life of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is not an ordinary living entity like one of us. He is a great devotee of the Lord, and under his name, India was known as Bharat Varsha. Bharat means there is a name from the King Bharat. Varsha means it's a land. India 5,000 years ago, formerly it was known as the Bharat Varsha. At that time, there is no such country as Switzerland. There is no such country as Italy. There is no such country as Malaysia or Bangladesh or Pakistan. Only one kingdom, one flag, and one king. And at that moment, everybody in the Bharat land, that everybody perform a devotional service for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like we are living in the middle planet. The material creation have got 14 planets where we are living in the Bhuloka, and above is the Bhuvaloka, above that is the Suraloka, Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. And below us are the Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Badala, Vitala, Atala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Badhala. The lower planetary systems are there. And this planet we are living, the Bhuloka, the earthly planet, has got a 7 island. It is known as the Jambudvip. Number 2, Kusadvip. Number 3 is a Kraunchadvip. Number 4 is Puskaradvip. Number 5 is Plakshadvip. Number 6 is Sakadvip. Number 7 is Salmakidvip. And out of these 7 islands within this earthly planet, we are living in the Jambudvip. There are 6 other islands are there beyond our visions. And within this Jambudvip, there are 9 divisions are there. One is called Bharat Varsha. Second is called Bhadra Varsha. The third is called Arivarsha. The fourth is called Iranya Varsha. The fifth is called Ilavarta Varsha. The sixth is called Saka Varsha. The seventh is called Salmali Varsha. The eighth is called Kimpurusha Varsha, Katumra Varsha. And finally it is called Ramyaka Varsha. There is the Bharat Varsha, Bhadra Varsha, Arivarsha, Iranya Varsha, and Iranya Varsha, then Ilavarta Varsha. Then is the Kuru Varsha, Kim Purusha Varsha, Katumda Varsha and Ramika Varsha. On this Jambu island we are living, it has got 9 divisions, and in the 9 division we are living in the division of Bharat Varsha. So the Bharat Varsha was a name coming from the Bharat Maharaj, being a very great devotees of the Lord. The greatness of Bharat land, India, has been mentioned by Narada Muni to Sarvani Manu. There are 14 Manus are there. One of them is called Sarvani Manu. And Narada Muni have explained to Sarvani Manu the greatness of Bharat, India. He says that practically everybody at that moment, 5,000 years ago, everybody practically were engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. The greatness of Bharat land is different from the other country at the present moment in the world. The greatness of India is that it has given a division, a principle on the path of dharma in the Varnashram dharma. It's the only country in the world has divided people according to their guna and karma. It's not equally, everybody is not equal in the world. Even though spiritually on the platform of a spiritual, we all are equal. But the way we are thinking and doing things in this world is not the same. Our emotion in the material world, sometimes it's in the mode of goodness, sometimes in the mode of passionate, sometimes it's the mixture of mode of passionate and ignorant, and sometimes it's in the mode of ignorance. Sometimes people in the Western world, those have no information, no knowledge about the greatness of this division of Varnashram dharma. They condemn India having some caste system. But the caste system in India been created ignorantly by the British when they were ruling India. And you must understand, India was the greatest country in the world, not the present India. 5,000 years ago, the Bharat Varsha, it was the greatest country in the world. Because he had been taught the civilization has began from the Bharat Varsha. How to walk properly, how to talk properly, how to sit properly, how to look properly, how to do everything in a very civilized manner. Uncivilized means like animals don't have any kinds of information. The difference between body and soul. They don't have any difference, they don't have any principle on the path of righteousness. Ahara nidra bay maitunam cha samannimiter pasbir naranam dharmeyite so avikavisiso. Dharmena yena pasbir samanam. The Shastra says, eating, sleeping and mating and defending are very equal. It's the same to the human being and animals. But the greatness of the human society, that they can understand the problem of life. Our problem is not just about eating, sleeping, mating and defending. The real problem of our life is that we don't wish to take birth in this world, we are forced to take birth in this world. We don't wish to grow old, but we are forced to become old. We don't wish to undergo any kind of disease in our life. We are forced to undergo all kinds of disease in our life. And we don't like to die, but we are forced to die in the material world. Beside that, there is Hadi Daivika Klesa, Hadi Bhautika Klesa, Hadi Atmika Klesa. There are miseries coming by the force of the material nature. Sometimes there is no rain, no water, people suffer and die. Sometimes there's overly raining and flood and somebody dies. And there are all kinds of a problem coming from the material nature. And Adi Bhautika Klesa, if the nature is not giving any problem, the problems are coming from other kinds of living beings. Sometimes it comes from our enemies, sometimes come from our friend, sometimes come from the other living entities. if the problems are not coming from the material nature, if the problem is not coming from the other living entities, Adi Atmika, our own body and mind gives us lot of problems. In this way, the living entities, the human being are very special, and they are different from the animals because they are able to understand that they are going through these kinds of problem, and they are able to understand there's a solution to all this problem, and they also been given the kind of greatness in themselves that they can find the solution to this problem and never again to come back and get involved in any this kind of problems. So in this way, Bharatvarsha, India, in the name of King Bharat, was known as the greatest country in the world. And it was spoiled totally by the rule of the Muslim and British. The Muslim have ruled India for 800 years. They are very uncivilized human beings. If you can name one country in the world, the Muslim, the Islam country which is not fighting with anybody around. If they are living in somewhere, if they are majority, they will try to kill the minority. And if they are living in somewhere there is no minority, only majority of the own people, they will fight among their own self. They are very uncivilized human beings. They are praying 5 times a day without understanding that they are not the body, they are spirit soul. And Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmaniga Visastine Swanchaiva Swachiteta Pandita Samadarshina. In the chapter 5, text 10, Krishna said that really anybody, a learned person, a realized person, sees everybody in the world equal. It does not see that I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm a black or white, I'm a British, I'm a American. It does not discriminate anything in the world. Equally, it sees everybody is equal because he understands there's only one creator in the world. Even the Muslim understand there's only one creator, one God in the world, and he has created every other living being in the world, and they accept every living being in the world, they're children of God. And they do not understand they have no right to take away the life of other people which not belongs to them. But somewhere or other, these uncivilized people have ruled India for 800 years. And after that comes the British. They have ruled India for 200 years with their animalistic way of thinking. In this way, the greatness of the Bharat, which we are reading the Bharat, he was a king, and you keep reading the actual character of King Bharat, you'll be very amazed. There was a human being with such a wonderful character, and how he can perform any kinds of a dirty work in the material world, being a such principled man. But he was, at this moment, at this time, he was ruling everything in a very godly way. But somewhere or other, this is what Narada Muni was telling Sarvana Muni, Sarvani Manu, that India's greatness of India is that he has divided the human society in such a way so that they don't identify with the animal consciousness. The animal consciousness, when the cat and dogs, comes together, they will fight. But those days, nowadays, even you see in the YouTube, the cats and dogs are becoming friends. Only the human being have become worse than the cats and dogs. They are fighting like cats and dogs. The Kali Yuga is changing everything in the world. He says the greatness. So this Kapiladev, if you read in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapiladev in the canto 3, chapter 25, chapter 29, text 29. Kapiladev has beautifully mentioned the greatness of the Varnashram system. Tatrapi spasas vedabhyo pravara rasa vedina tebhyo ganda vidasresat tata sabda vidhovara. If you got time today, you can go and read Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 3, chapter 29, text 29. Kapiladev says, anybody born in the world, born with the perception, with the feeling, there is a great birth, There are baby born in this world without life, dead body. So there is no greatness of the baby born in the world. Many living body beings are born in the world, they can feel, they can do the feeling, he said that is the best birth in the world. Better than the feeling in total is a better is that you got the perception of the senses of touch, that by touching you can feel something, he said that is better. Born alive is better. And better than that is you can feel by touching. So touching sensor is the better. And better than that, he says that you can taste, from the lips, you can taste the food in your mouth. And better than that, he says that you can have the senses of smell. Better than that, he says, have the senses of hearing. Better than that, you got the senses of vision, that you can discriminate between good and bad. Better than the senses of seeing, he says you got the upper and lower teeth in your body. Better than that is that you are born with many legs. Better than that is that you are born with 4 legs. Better than that you are born with 2 legs as a human being. He said better than the being born in the human being, said that you are born in the family which has got a varnashram system, a family who can educate you according to your nature, according to your talent within yourself. That the parents are able to understand that you are a person, you can become an intellectual. Why? Because you have got more of goodness in yourself. And they prepare you to become intellectual, a brahmana or teacher. And a family who can understand, a parent can understand that my child has got the more of passionate, so he can become a politician, he can become a policeman, he can become a soldier, he can protect other living beings. So the family educate you according to the talent you have got within yourself, according to the guna, passionate. And a family understand my child has got the modes of mixture of goodness, mixture of passionate and ignorant, and he can become a very good businessman. They found the talents in the child and then they educate the child to become best with his own nature within himself. And parents understand, my child, this child is ignorant, he will become a very lazy, he won't be good for anything, but he can become a good laborer, he can become a good worker. So I should educate my child to become a good worker. So being a good worker, you'll become, one day, you'll uplift yourself to become a good businessman. Like you would like to do a plumbing work, you'd like to be an electrician, you want to be a mechanic, motorbike mechanic, car mechanic, and the parents educate you on that thing, and after some time you open your own motorbike mechanic shop, you open your own electrical shop, you become a good Vaishya. In this way, slowly the varnashram system upgrade yourself to become the first class in the world. The Western country, the many other countries beside the Bharat, they don't have this intelligence, they don't have this ideology within themselves, that anybody born in the world, they can be uplifted to become a first class human being through the system of varnashrama. Varna means that you got some intelligence within your own self. You got some talent within your own self. Either you can be intellectual, either you can be administrative, either you can become a mercantile, or either you can become a laborer. So that is the social order, the talent you got within yourself. And you need little bit of discipline to do this thing. So the Varnashram has given you ashramam, that from the very beginning of your life, you've been put into a spiritual connection. As a brahmachari, as a grihastha, as a vanaprastha, as a sannyasi, by looking into your own self, your own talent, by following certain spiritual discipline in yourself, you become the first class human being in the world. So the body is made of the material elements, the soul is made of the spiritual elements. The Bharatvarsha, the land of India, gives the information to the people how you can enhance the talent of your body, how you can enhance the talent of the soul in this way. The Bharatvarsha gives you the balanced life in yourself. That not only you only focus into the materialistic way of life to take care of body, then you forget the need of the soul. But the King Bharat, his land give us the information how you take care your material elements, how you take care your spiritual elements, and the Varnashram system gives everybody, a social order and spiritual order. So here Narada Muni says that the greatness of Bharatvarsha is that it gives you the Varnashram system not been given by any other country in the world. Is there any country in the world, if you remember, I've taught you about Varnashram system? Is anybody teaching in Europe, in Switzerland, that there's a Varna and Ashram, that you got a social talent within you, you got a spiritual talent with you, like a car and the driver. The car has got a different demands, different needs. The driver has got a different demand, different needs. The car needs the petrol and the driver needs the pizza. Anybody told you this information in Europe? They're pouring the petrol to the car, they're pouring the petrol to the driver, and driver dies, the car cannot move. Is the situation in the world. So, here, been so much praise about the life of Bharat, because he brings in the information, and not only he brings in the information, he practices the information within his own life. And he understands that any kinds of attachment in the world will take you to another life again. And he was surrounded by the country, the citizen and the family and everything. And at one moment he decided that he should leave all those things and only focus in Krishna consciousness and cross over the cycle of repeated birth and death. And here in the translation, Prabhupada writes that to become detached, he has followed the direct and indirect experiences of the spiritual life. So Prabhupada says that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj has given the detailed information what is direct experience and what is indirect experience. In this today's verse, this translation is given that Bharat Maharaj has followed direct experience and indirect experience through Krishna consciousness. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj have explained that direct experience is called, the direct and indirect experiences are called Sthayi Bhava. Sthayi Bhava means the permanent emotion in the living being. Sometimes people say you should not become angry. Sometimes people say you should not become fear. But the anger, fear, all these emotions are already inside you. It's eternally, naturally is within you. So you cannot become free from anger. You cannot become free from fear. You cannot become free from frustration. But you are able to control your anger. You are able to control the fear. You are able to control the frustration. When you control the anger, anger is good for you. When you control the fear is good for you. When you can control the frustration, is good for you. When you control the money, is good for you. When the money controls you, is very bad for you. So the Vedic literature gives you that you cannot throw away from all those things which is already within you, called Sthayi Bhava. So here in the translation, Prabhupada translated this thing. He said, King Bharat, he knows these things. There is a Sthayi Bhava, there is a permanent emotion, there are primary emotion, there are secondary emotion. The primary emotion is known as the Mukhya Rati. The secondary emotion is known as the Gauna Rati. The primary emotion is your relationship with Krishna. There are 5 relationships there. One is the Santa, second is the Dasya, the third is the Sakya, the fourth is the Vatsalya, the fifth is the Madhurya. Santa means neutrality. That you got a house, that house and you have got a neutral relationship. You got a car and you have got a neutral relationship, even though it is your car. But your relationship with the car is very neutral. You are living in the New Zealand country. You got a relationship with the New Zealand, but it's very neutral. So this is Santarasa. You got neutral relationship with many things in the world. And number 2 is Dasya, that servitude relationship. You got a relationship with your master. Is your both in the working place. He is the master. You are the servant. Somebody is a servant. Somebody is a master. So in this way, there are Sakya friendly relationship is there, and Vatsalya parental relationship is there, and Madhurya conjugal, either boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife. This relationship are there in the heart of the living being. Nobody can say no, but within the material world you can see that people have got a neutral relationship, people have got a servitude relationship, people have got a friendship relationship, people have got a parental relationship, people have got a conjugal relationship. That relationship available in the world already inside our heart as a permanent, it is there. Either you got a relationship with Krishna as a Santa, as a Dasya, whatever. That relationship is the permanent relationship. And all the relationship which, perverted relationship in the material world is a reflection. What is inside your heart, a relationship also available in the material world, but is a perverted reflection of the relationship. What is inside is the original, the outside is the, it is the external, it is the illusion. So in this way, Bharat Maharaj knows this, Mukhya Rati, there is a permanent relationship is there. And to enhance the permanent relationship, he knows that Krishna has given the living entities 7 secondary emotion. That is called Gaunarati. Number 1 is called Asya. Number 2 is called Adbhuta. Number 3 is called Virya. Number 4 is called Karuna. Number 5 is called Raudra. Number 6 is called Bhayanaka. Number 7 is called Bibhitsaka. So number 1, the emotion in our heart, it is there. It is called Asya, means jovial. Not everybody is serious all the time. They also got some jovial mode within themselves. It's only come out when they meet, another person who they think can joke with that person. Sometimes the husband may not be joking with the wife inside, very serious, but he may be joking with their friends outside. True or not? There are people sometimes look very serious, but they also got a jovial mode within themselves. Like the gopis, Radharani, she also very serious at that time, but she's a great joker. She makes a very good joke for Krishna. So she's not serious all the time. So the living being have got a very wonderful quality within themselves, a jovial, number 1. Number 2 is Adbhuta, astonishment, qualities, emotion is there. Number 3 is Virya, chivalry, emotion is there. And number 4 is called Karuna, compassion, kindness, emotion is there. And number 5 is Raudra, anger, emotion is also there. And number 6, Bhayanaka, emotion of fear is there in themselves. And number 7 is called Bibhitsaka, frustration, emotion of frustration is there. Sometimes we may feel why we need to be frustrated. Without frustration, you don't want to live the material world. If you go and ask all the old people lying down in the old folks' home, if you go and ask them, what do you want to be? They said, I wish that I can die and go. All the old people, you go and talk to them, always they complain, my knee got problem, my leg got problem, my head got problem, my limbs of the body got problem. They will mention only problems of their life. And many old people in the world, they wish they can die and go. Too much trouble in the material world. So this emotion there in the living entities, but when you're connected with Krishna, this emotion becomes spiritual. The anger becomes spiritual, like the gopis, the Radharani become angry with Krishna. That makes Krishna very happy. Why they angry? Well, Krishna told them, I'll be coming at this time, but it's not coming, not turning up. And they become angry with Krishna, and while they are frustrated with Krishna, they call Krishna to come and play. They play dice game, and suddenly Krishna come and interfere into the dice game, and he wants to go into play the dice game, and they say, no, you are not qualified to come and play with us. You only know how to take care of the cows. And Krishna says, oh, that was that time. Now I've already learned how to play dice game. Let me play with you. And they said, you will start to play, then you will go and complain to your mother, and your mother will think that we are the problem of you. He said, no, I won't tell my mother, because I'm already mature person, I know everything. And they said, okay, you want to play, what do you want to put as a prize? Radharani can put a necklace, and you should put something as a prize for this game. He said, I got a flute, I can give you. And if you lost the game, you cannot claim the flute. If you win the game, you take Radharani's necklace and your flute and go away. He said, okay, and then they play. And they throw the dice. He calls, he'll want to play, throw the dice. He look at the beauty of Radharani, the innocence of Radharani, and he looking at her, he was attracted to Radharani. She was very innocent. Why innocent? She believed everything Krishna says. And they know he is not, keeping his word. Then he want to throw. And he throw number 2, but never appear. Appear number 3. First time he lost the game. So Lalita said, you're already losing game. And he said, no, tell your Radharani not to look at me. The way she's looking, my mind is, going problem. I cannot concentrate in my game. Radharani said, who asked you to look at me? You look at me. And then now he said, okay, don't look at me. Then but he is looking at Radharani. He is enjoying the innocence in the heart of Radharani. Then he said, call 4, but comes 5, lose again. Then Lalita said, you lost the game. So Lalita took, the flute and gave the necklace to Radharani. And she keeps the flute. And Krishna said, okay, I want to go back home. Give back my flute. And Lalita said, how to give back? You already promised. No, you have to give back. What am I going to tell my mother? My mother will ask, where's your flute? What do you want me to tell my mother? My mother will be very upset. And Radharani said, this is what I told you before. You come to play, you bring your mother inside, you bring your whole family inside and become a big dispute. So what else you can give? If not flute, what else you can give? Krishna says, I got only 2 things with me. There is one is my mind, another is my flute. My mind stolen by your Radharani, she's keeping in her heart. So my mind is not there, gone ready. Only this flute, telling this flute to pick the flute and run away from there. And Radharani become frustrated. They all the time come and disturb everything. So the frustration become more enjoyable in the action. It's not like our kind of frustration, somebody want to dominate your life and there's an abuse between man and woman. Then you throw everything, you throw the divorce paper, that's it, finish, go away. And after some time you lose about your divorce frustration, you find another man or woman, you come in together, again another problem, throw and go away. So our frustration, very different than the spiritual frustration. So here, Parikshit Maharaj, he was following very properly this thing. Because a very spiritual person is enjoying the emotion within himself. And he wanted to teach the world that at one point that you have to leave everything and only focus in Krishna consciousness. Like in the chapter 8, text 5, Krishna says, Ante kale chamamivam mukta kale paleswaram yaprayati samarbhavam yati natri anta samsaya. Only by thinking of me, one can come back to me. Yam yam api smaran bhavam. Whatever other thing you think, you will attain without fail. So in this way, Krishna has given information that only by thinking of him, one can go back to him. And Krishna says, Abhyasa Yogena Yukta. That is in the chapter 8 text, 8, Abhyasa Yogena Yukta. Paramam Purusam Divyam Yati Parthani Chintayam. Krishna says to attain him is very easy. He says, without deviation, if you follow my words, easily you can attain Krishna. So in this way that he was thinking of attaining Krishna. And he found that a family life or the country life and everything else may become little bit obstacles for me to only think of Krishna. So he left everything, he went to the forest. So only mistake Bharat Maharaj made in this attempt living in the forest is that he was deviated from the principle of Krishna consciousness. There is that always a devotee always should remain in the association of other devotees. And he should take the guidelines, the order given by the spiritual master. But somewhere or other he was not being guided at that time by a spiritual master. He was keeping away from the association of the devotees. Two things a devotee can fall down. One is that they take up the association of non-devotees. The second is that they offend the Vaishnavas, devotees. By two things only a person can fall down. You should remember that. One is that you keep away from the devotees' association, you can fall down. Second is that offending another Vaishnava, you can fall down. What are offending a Vaishnava? There are 6 things that have been given in the Shastra as offenses to the Vaishnavas. Number 1 is that killing a Vaishnava is an offense. Number 2, blaspheming a Vaishnava, talking bad about a devotee is an offense. Number 3, ill thinking, always thinking bad about another devotee is an offense. Number 4, not liking to see the devotees. I don't like to see this devotee, that's an offense. Number 5, angry upon seeing a devotee is an offense. I'm so angry, why this fellow come to the temple? Sometimes I wanted to keep away from this guy, but why he comes to the temple, he become angry. Is an offense. And number 6, not offering obeisances to a devotee is an offense. Somewhere or other, we may not be killing a devotee, so we are not offending. Somewhere or other, we may not talking bad about devotees, so we are not offending anybody here. And somewhere or other, we are not thinking bad about another devotee, we may not be offending anybody here. Somewhere or other, we are not saying that I don't like to see this devotee, it's not an offense. And somewhere we are not angry with anybody around, it's not an offense. But more or less every devotee, many devotees, they make another offense on the daily basis. When they see another devotee, they are not offering obeisances. Sometimes we've been trained, when you see a sannyasi, you pay obeisance. You see a spiritual master, you pay obeisance. But when you see another normal Vaishnavas, normally we don't offer obeisances. But that is considered to be one of the offense that we can fall down by performing any of these offenses. And here he has neglected a spiritual master because he doesn't understand spiritual master is not different from Krishna himself. Krishna comes to elevate the human society in this world by 6 ways. Krishna comes to the world by 6 ways to guide the human society to follow the principle of dharma. Number 1, Krishna himself comes to the world. Number 2, he comes as a Diksha Guru, the initiating Guru. Number 3, he comes as the Siksha Guru, instructing Guru. Number 4, he comes as the Purusha Avatar. Number 5, he comes as the Leela Avatar. Number 6, he comes as the Saktivesh Avatar. So Krishna comes in 6 different ways to help the human society to uplift their consciousness and solve the problem of life and go back to him. So somewhere or other we are seeing that a spiritual master, an ordinary person. We may be seeing a Siksha Guru as an ordinary person. The Shastra says that 6 kind of persons are entitled to live in the hellish planet. A person who sees the deity of Krishna as made of with the wood and stone, and they are residents of hellish planet. If they just see, oh, this is nothing, just made of wood and some stone. And somebody sees that the spiritual master is an ordinary person, they also residents of a hellish planet. And number 3, anybody sees these Vaishnavas are coming from different castes. They are Western people, they are European people, they are not qualified. If they think like that, they are also residents of the hellish planet. And number 4, anybody think the Charanamrita, the water, wash the body of the Lord? Anybody see the Ganga water, the holy water, as an ordinary water? They also residents of the hellish planet. And somebody think the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is a repetition of an ordinary word. They also hellish planet resident. And somebody who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person, they also residents of the hellish planet. In this way, all these people cannot make any progress in spiritual life. Somewhere or other they fall down again and again and again in the material world because they do not take shelter of the spiritual master. They do not, surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For that reason, somewhere or other, they keep away from the proper association of the Vaishnavas, and offending the Vaishnavas. Somewhere or other, that's a problem we could see in the life of a Bharat. He is not offending anybody, but somewhere or other he kept away from the association of the devotees. So somewhere or other he go through some difficulty by becoming attached to the deer. Sometimes we tell the devotees, if they are not chanting properly, we will tell them, please chant properly, you're missing some words. True or not? If they're not sitting properly, tell them sit properly. If they're throwing prasadam everywhere, they say, oh, should not throw the prasadam. So we sometimes, when the devotees beside us, they give us some advice. They try to correct us. But here, because there was no devotee, around Bharat Maharaj, and somewhere or other nobody was there to tell him that you cannot become attached to the deer. Yam yap smaram, Krishna says that whatever you think at the time of death, that towards you attain without fail. So if you're thinking of the deer too much, next life you may become a deer. Nobody was there to tell him this information because he has kept away from the devotees association. But later on, when he became a deer, and still by the mercy of the Lord, that he still remember that previously I made this mistake, keeping away from the association of devotees, and being a deer, he was living near the ashram of the other sages, and he was always very conscious that this time I should not make mistake. And after that birth, he became a Jada Bharat. A Jada means, like somebody is like a mad fellow. He never wear a proper dress, he never do anything, no bathing, no properly eating, and he's like a mad man going around. So he realized only way to keep away from the so-called civilized society is that you be like a madman. Nobody will bother you. When you're mad, nobody will bother you. Oh, she's a mad fellow, forget about that. So he was pretending to be a madman so that everybody neglected him. By the mercy of Rahaguna, his glories came to know to the whole world. So 8:30 I will stop here, and tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow I think is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is another wonderful scripture to study and to talk. And Monday we'll follow Monday you got any other thing? Bhagavatam will continue the next verse. Important information Prabhupada gives through his purport. By being humble and meek, you will perfect your Krishna consciousness, and your peace and joy will be within you. You never bothered about these politicians. You should never bother about those who are uncivilized. You always keep yourself. Prabhupada said devotees should follow 4 things. Number 1, he said they should take care of their body, their health. Because if your health is no good, you cannot do much, for Krishna in your life. So number 1, the devotee should give preference, take care of their health. Number 2, they should chant the holy name of the Lord. Number 3, they do some service for the pleasure of the Lord. And number 4, they should always, every day, read Prabhupada books. So intelligence will come through reading Prabhupada books. If you all can follow these 4 things, want to take care of your health, 2, chant the holy name, 3, to do some service for Krishna, and 4, to read Prabhupada books every day, and you are the best elevated human being in the world. Very easy and very simple, and it will bring beautiful joy and happiness in your life by focus into one thing, that is Krishna consciousness. And Krishna says, The chapter 10, text 10, Tesam Satatayuktanam Bhajanti Pratipurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam. He said, I will give you the intelligence, how you can come back to me. Krishna will give you the intelligence, provided you follow the instruction, the advice given by Prabhupada. Prabhupada is the only person that without any desire, only for the ultimate benefit and happiness of the world. He traveled all around the world. He was not thinking he has neglected, he has left his family behind. He could have done so much for the family, but he kept away, so that because he was thinking the bigger picture in the world, that my family is the whole world. By giving up, one family, if I can make the whole world, all the family happy in the world, that will be the great benefit. Like in the forest, if you cut down one tree to save the whole forest, which one you will do? If you can cut down one tree, and that will save the whole world, means what you will do? Damodar Prabhu. Or you will cut down the whole forest, or only keep that one tree, or cut down the other trees. So, intelligent person, they cut down one tree, and they, make sure the forest is protected. So like that, Prabhupada have, kept away of his own family only for the benefit and happiness of the entire human society. That is a greatness. There are three kinds of people in the world. A best man, Uttama, is the best living entities in the world. And there's a Madhyama, there is no middle, second class. And Adama, there's a third class, lower. The best man in the world is that, he's always thinking, even in my unhappiness, if the world can be happy, I will do that thing for the world. He doesn't worry about his own happiness. The second class man, he thinks, I also must be happy, the world also must be happy. So he takes care of himself, he takes care also of the world. But the first class, he don't worry about himself, you only worry about the welfare of the world. The third class is that, I don't worry about the world, only me and me and me, I and mine. Selfish person. So Prabhupada being a Uttama, a first class human being. So he has spoken something without any of the expectation, any of the selfish motivation. So if you got a good friend like that who is not expecting anything from you, who do not have any selfish motives when he's interacting with you, he's always thinking about your welfare. You're happy or not? You're happy to have a good, very, very good friend, one friend in my life. So in this way, Prabhupada has spoken everything only for our benefit, and by taking, a small instruction of Prabhupada, that take care of your health, chant the holy name, do some service for Krishna, and always read Prabhupada book. He says, you go back to Krishna easy. Okay, thank you so much. Damodar Prabhu, any questions or any doubts today? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful class. You were speaking about these, as in the net of devotion, they are called the secondary emotions.
Gaunarati, yeah.
Gonarati, and you spoke about frustration. You gave a wonderful example how in the spiritual world,
Yeah.
frustration, it leads to bliss.
Yeah.
And then you were saying how in this world it's different.
Yeah.
So how do we as devotees who, like speaking for myself, I'm not a pure devotee, I
Yeah.
have to somehow interact with people,
Yeah.
and these emotions come instead of giving a negative result, like let's say one is in a relationship and divorces,
Mm.
gave this example. How can these emotions still be somewhat uplifting? Because they will come.
Yeah. See, in the spiritual life, in that emotion, Krishna is the center of the emotion. The material life, you become the center of the emotion. That is the difference. When you put yourself into the center, oh, I, you never looked at me, you never smiled at me, you never, served me this. Always I and I and I. It's not about, the combination of other, the primary and secondary. The primary, the emotion that's between you and Krishna. Whether whatever relationship you have got, whether it's a Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, That is in the primary this thing, and you're connecting with the secondary, and in between that connection there's a vibhava, there's a devotee. It's beautifully, mentioned by Rupa Goswami, there's a sthayi bhava, a permanent emotion is there. In that permanent emotion, object, the goal is Krishna, not you. Somewhere or other you come together only for one purpose, to serve Krishna. When somebody was married in the beginning in America, Prabhupada time, they wrote to Prabhupada, this Mataji wrote to Prabhupada, I'm married now, please tell me what is my duty. So Prabhupada mentioned that, your husband is like your right hand, you are like a left hand, and these two ends are all by the body, your body. If the body is not there, the two ends, not been held by anything. So he says, the similar way, if you understand that Krishna is the center, is the body, and you on the right hand side, your husband on the left hand side, if the center is Krishna, then your life is perfect, and then, it won't fall at any time. So let's stand the important points here, that our frustration comes in because we put ourselves into the center. Whether am I satisfied or not. One of the Alvar, he says that, why people get married. Beautifully, he says that, generally the married life is a very difficult life, not easy life. As a bachelor, you got problem, but the problem lies within your own self. If you don't like, a problem, maybe you go and drink beer, you sleep, you finished, but you're married. You cannot bring the beer and not coming back to the home, the wife is expecting. So the married life is more difficult than the brahmacharya life. He says, but still the parents, they tell you to get married. Why they tell you to get married? Because you need a companion, you need somebody to help each other. A time will come, you may not be able to walk properly, speak properly, you may be, bedridden, you need another person to help you. So the Alvar says that generally, they should get married. You wanted to serve Krishna, but you're finding it a little bit difficult because there is some demand coming from your body. So you find somebody that you can fulfill that demand. In the same time, you can serve Krishna. So in Krishna consciousness, the marriage life is only for one purpose. That is to serve Krishna nicely. But somewhere or other, when we are married and we've forgotten that principle why we have come together, we are competing among ourselves, whether you are big or I'm big. We are trying to dominate among each other. So in this way, the real purpose of Krishna consciousness, why we have come together, is no longer there. And what it is replaced by your own, personal interest. For that reason, you become frustrated because you and the partner, you don't have any eternal relationship here. You don't have any sthayi bhava, you don't have a permanent emotion between you two together. You got permanent emotion only with Krishna. But here the emotion is very temporary. But you have forgotten the permanent emotion. You focus more into the temporary emotion. But the temporary emotion fluctuating. If you look into the chapter 14, text 10, Krishna says, Raja Stamas Tabibuya Sadvam Bhavati Bharata. Raja Sadvam Tamas Bhava Sadvam Raja Stamasya. Krishna says in the chapter 14, text 10 is that the emotion are fluctuating. Sometimes you are in the mode of goodness, and sometimes, the mode of passionate take over the mode of goodness, and it become mode of passionate. Sometimes mode of ignorance defeats both mode of goodness and passionate, and mode of ignorance become very prominent. The emotions are fluctuating all the time. Now you are dependent on this emotion. You are not dependent on the permanent emotion, which is not changing at any time. That permanent emotion only start working with you when you are connected, put Krishna into the center of your activities. Then that emotion become, the frustration comes in. The devotee married, they don't have a frustration. The frustration comes in because there is a nature of the material world. But the only, speciality is that devotee are able to control. Like you see ice cream, nobody who don't like to eat the ice cream. You need a nice cake, who don't like to eat the nice cake. But you control, or maybe they got egg into the cake, I don't want to eat. You only control, It's not, you don't like. You see a beautiful girl, you like the girl. But you know the principle of life, so you control. That's it. And you're not careful, you marry. So in this way, the frustrations are always going to be there. But you're able to control the frustration by becoming more and more advancing in Krishna consciousness. And Krishna gives you the satisfaction within yourself. When Krishna is satisfied, everything else will satisfy. The example is that the Pandavas were living in the forest. And they got the Akshapatra. The sun god has given Draupadi Akshapatra. That plate, food plate, by having that plate, she can cook for any amount of people coming to eat. But the moment she finished eating and washed the plate and cap, and after that she cannot, bring in the food into the plate. So she has got this plate, but at one point, Durvasa Muni, is an angry Muni. He went to Duryodhan, and Duryodhan was very happy. Duryodhan made him very happy. And Durvasa Muni asked him, what can I do for you? And Duryodhana was thinking the Pandavas in the forest, and this Muni, this devotee is very angry person. So better send him there, he become angry with them, and then, you can curse them. So he told them, you better go and eat, with the Pandavas there in the forest. So Durvasa Muni went there, and he told Draupadi, I'm very hungry, give me food. He came with 10,000 disciples. And Draupadi started to cry, because she already ate the food on that day. She already washed the plate. Nothing remained. So she cannot use the plate for that day, only for next day. But now the Durvasa Muni, she knows, is a very angry sage. He may give a curse. And then Durvasa said, we will go and take a bath in the Ganga and come back and get ready the food. So she left. And only she knows only solution called Krishna. See, when we got problem, we call so many other people. But she knows that being a devotee, she called Krishna, please come. So Krishna came. And the moment Krishna came, Krishna told, I'm very hungry, give me food. And she was crying. She said, the fellow, 10,000 disciples, he was asking for food. I don't have food, I'm crying. And he also coming in asking for food. Where to give? And he said, bring the plate. She said, already ate, wash the plate. No, bring the plate. I brought the plate, there was one green leaf was stuck in the plate. And Krishna put it in his mouth. And Krishna go, and the 10,000 disciples, they all go, all no more hungry ready. And they were thinking, if I go, I don't eat the food there, they'll be offended. They ran away from there. So if you make Krishna happy, everything else will be happy. So the frustration in the material world, we wanted to make ourselves happy. Your wife wanted to make herself happy. You want to make yourself happy. Your children wanted to make themselves happy. There's no coordination in the family. Everybody thinking about their own self. But everybody think one central point, Krishna. Prabhupada give an example, he says that a boy marry a girl. This boy in India, they got all arranged marriage. Normally, the son of a family girl, and somebody would tell, oh, you go, this family, they got a nice girl, your son can marry her. So they go and propose the girl, And this boy don't know the girl, they only meet, during the marriage time, wedding time. So Prabhupada said, this boy don't know this girl don't know the boy, they come married. After the marriage, whoever the girl's friend and enemy become the friend and enemy of this boy, being husband. And whoever is enemy and friend become the girl's enemy and friend. But before that, they don't know any of these people. But after marriage, this girl's boys and friend, this girl's boys and girl, all become enemy of, this, Whoever enemy to your wife is your enemy. If you go and see her enemy, she said, why you go and talk to her? She's my enemy. So Prabhupada said, just by coming together, marriage in marriage, that his enemy and friend become her enemy and friend become his enemy and friend. What is the central point? Marriage is the central point. In the similar way, if you put Krishna in the center, and Krishna says he has no friends, he has no enemy. In the chapter 5, text 29, Krishna says, Bhuktaram yagya tapasam sarvalokam Maheswaram Suryam sarvabhutani gyatmamam santi richati. He says, I am the well-wisher of all living beings. I am the friend of every living beings. I am the supreme enjoyer. I am the supreme proprietor. Anybody knows these things, they become peace in their life. So Krishna has no enemies in the world, all only friends to him. And in this way, by putting Krishna in the center, so there is no enmity against each other, and there is no frustration. Only frustration will be, oh, I'm not doing that much for Krishna, I should do more better and more better. In this way, you're not putting your selfish interest. When you put a selfish interest, nobody likes you. True or not? You like a selfish friend, or you like, a selfless friend? Whom you like? Selfish or selfless? Selfless. So Krishna is a selfless friend. But you're putting a selfish friend in the center and you're telling, oh, the frustration comes in. Of course it comes in because the selfish friend only thinking about himself. He's not thinking about your welfare. So you have to put Krishna in the center, and that frustration become more enjoyable. Like, I took a flight from Malaysia, it's about 8 hours. I landed in Doha. And everywhere you look in the flight, everybody eating meat, everybody, there. And you come down to the Doha airport, everybody again, smoking and frustrated, because, you cannot do anything. But the only one joy is that I reach to Zurich and I can get a nice prasadam. That joy kept me into the frustration. So a little bit, moment of frustration. But the joy is that, I'm able to tolerate that frustration because I was thinking about Krishna Prasadam and the devotees here. So put Krishna in the center. No, you cannot make anybody happy and perfect in the world. Perfection, there is no perfection in Krishna consciousness. You must understand. I become a devotee, I'll become perfect. It's not like that. When you become perfect, Krishna takes you away from Switzerland, from Italy, no more coming back. When you're perfect, you're qualified, Krishna takes you out from here. You're not qualified to live in a place there are imperfection, So only perfection in devotee's life is that they're trying to become perfect. Your trying to become perfect is a perfection in Krishna consciousness. Once you're perfect, ready, you leave your body and go back to Krishna, that's it. So the Prabhu has got a question there. Yeah, Prabhu.
Хорошо, я хочу вас спросить, есть 400 тысяч форм человеческих, и часто вспоминают о цивилизованных.
Maharaj, I want to ask you, there are 4,000 forms of life,
Yeah.
and все они человеческие, да?
Нет, есть 400 тысяч форм человеческих.
And 4,000 forms of life, they are just human forms of life.
Yeah.
Да, и из них вспоминают, что есть 9 тысяч цивилизованных.
And 9,000 of civilized forms of life.
Где это вообще написано? Что такое цивилизованные?
According to the Padma Purana, there's a word he said, Jalajana Valakshani, there are 900,000 species of life. Altogether, 8,400,000 species of life. You want to translate? Okay. So according to the Padma Purana, there are 8,400,000 species of life. Out of that, 900,000 are living in the water, aquatics. 2 million are plants and trees. And 1.1 million insect and reptiles. And 1 million different kinds of birds. And there are 3 million four-legged animals, and 400,000 are the human species. And out of this thing, there are 5 levels of consciousness is there. It's called Avrita Chetana, Sankuchita Chetana, Mukalita Chetana, Vikachita and Purna Vikachita. And the first is that, Avrita Chetana, there's a living entity's consciousness is very covered. Like you put a seed inside the soil. It's covered, you don't see anything. So the consciousness is covered, is not developed. And the second kind of consciousness is that, avrita sankuchita chetana, that, is a shrunken consciousness, something slowly coming out from the sin. Shrunken consciousness. The third type of consciousness is called mukulita, budding. Now you see that, slowly, the buds are coming out. And the fourth kind of consciousness is called vikachita, blossoming. Now you can see, that the plant has come, there's a flower coming out. A kind of consciousness, developed consciousness. The fifth kind of consciousness is called purna vikachita, a complete blossom. I mean, the total beauty of the flowers you're able to see. So according to Padma Purana, the animals and the non-moving, that stone, the break, there are non-moving, the tree and plants, they have got the, the consciousness of the, first and second, covered and shrunken consciousness. The human being have got the complete five. They got the other three also. They have got the, budding consciousness, blossoming consciousness, and total blossoming consciousness. And among the human beings, there are civilized human beings, there are uncivilized human beings. And I did not anywhere seen that, the numbers are given, a civilized, civilized human being, uncivilized human being. But the thing is that, uncivilized can become civilized, and civilized can become uncivilized. A good people can become a bad people, and bad people can become a good people. There is the, minute independence is given to all living beings. That, somebody the karmi become a devotee, sometimes devotee become a karmi. So anyhow, this, as I said, that, the cycle goes around like that. The moment, you understand you're not the body, you're the soul, like in this chapter 2, text 2, Krishna explained, Kutasva kasmalamidam visame samupastitam anaryam justam asvargyam akritikaram Arjuna. The chapter 2, text 2, Krishna chastised Arjuna. He says, you are anarya, you are uncivilized. Prabhupada writes there, civilized means you understand you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. Uncivilized means you don't understand this information, you live like an animal. So there is, a human society, within there are many, uncivilized, there are many kind. Prabhupada gives, of course, many kind. The civilized is that, they go into the varnashram system, like, we've been mentioned just now. The beauty of India is that it gives the, information, the varnashram, that you are now not animal, atato brahma jigyasa. Now you got a human life, it's a very beautiful facility for you to understand about, the cause of all causes, your origin, how to go back to your origin. That, information is given in the varnashram system. So, when you come to Krishna and put Krishna in the center, it becomes Daivi varnashram, become, totally transcendental subject matter. Hmm? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned about controlling senses,
Yeah.
and after, in the end, you said tolerate.
Tolerate, yeah.
And I heard that Vachavegam Manasokra,
Yeah.
proper translation is tolerate, not to control, because we cannot control anything.
Yeah.
And what we can do just to give Krishna
Yeah.
opportunity to control our senses.
Yeah.
Could you say what is the process? How can we give to Krishna to control? We pray for him, or
Yeah, every day you should pray to, before you pray to Krishna, you pray to Maya Devi, pray to, Maya Devi have come from Radharani. All the ladies, form in the world, they have appeared from Radharani. All the male, gods are coming from Balaram. So you should pray to Maya, that please, spare me. Please, let me worship, Krishna very nicely. Just like Lord Ram went to the forest, 14 years, and Lakshmana, his brother, followed him. So Lakshmana took a vow that he will see all the welfare of Ram. Even at night time, he want to protect Ram, so he don't want to sleep. So he prayed to Maya Devi, please don't put me into sleep, help me. I want to serve Balaram. So in this way, you should not challenge Maya. Or you think I'm very big. Like Prabhupada once was flying in the flight, and Prabhupada was praying, and devotee asked Prabhupada, what you're praying? Prabhupada says, I pray that I may not fall down. I pray to Radharani, I may not fall down. So devotee asked Prabhupada, you're a great devotee, how you can fall? Prabhupada said that is secondary subject matter. The primary subject matter, Prabhupada says that Krishna is standing on right hand side and Maya standing on the left hand side. Before coming to Hare Krishna, Prabhupada said I was always looking at Maya, and Maya been slapping me all the time. And I was tired and frustrated by the slap of Maya. I turned to this side and Krishna is smiling with the flute. So I'm looking at Krishna, I'm very happy. It doesn't mean that Maya has gone away from there. The moment I turn away from Krishna, Maya is still there to give me a slap. So I pray to Radharani that I may not fall down. So in this way, by every day praying to Radha, because Maya is another form of Radha. So pray to Radharani that I may not fall down. Please bless me. I may always remain humble and meek, and I can serve Krishna and his devotee very nicely. And one of the, in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 25 to 20 onward, there has been mentioned that Titiksava, Karunika, Surida, Sarvadehina, Ajata, Santrava, Santa, Sadhuva, Sadhu Bhushana. The first class quality of a devotee is able to tolerate. Because you're able to tolerate, you can control the situation. Titiksava, devotees, their quality, they're tolerant, they're very compassionate, they don't make any enemies around, they abide by the scripture, and then they also, Titiksaka, Surya, Sarvade, Ajata, Santrava, they are very peaceful all the time. So devotee has got a wonderful quality. So tolerance is the first important quality in your life. When you're able to tolerate and you're able to control the situation. So in this way, your question, I think, I've said that all day, every day, you come and pray to Radharani. Please give me a mercy that, I can very nicely be in Krishna consciousness. And there are a lot of other things are there. We're getting like 9 o'clock. And we'll continue tomorrow on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we'll continue, on Monday onward. And thanking you so much for being here this morning. May the Lord give us all the blessing to be, happy and peaceful day and more, joy in Krishna consciousness. Now you all can go and take prasadam, enjoy nicely your prasadam. And if you got extra time, you go and sleep, don't fight with anybody. Fighting is very dangerous, sleeping is okay. Sometimes people think they got extra time, they go and, prajalpa, talking unnecessary thing. The Shastra says, if you think some extra time, you're not interested to chant or read, you go and sleep, less karma for you. If you can read and chant, if not interested, tired, just sleep. Don't waste your time with other people. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.